recorded? Is it recording?
It's recording.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you have just finished doing an archetype session with somebody. So here's what they know. They know their archetypes, and you're going to explain to them that your passion archetypes, those three, are your breadcrumbs leading you towards your purpose. When you tie your talent in, the thing that gets you paid, that's how you create your purpose, right? So for me, as a innocent adventurer, creative nurturer, sage, and knight, we know that it's important for me to have things like the ability to have endless ideas, to have fun, to travel. Okay, I know that I'm going to need to help people. I need to be able to create things and be creative and nurturing, engage with nature, etc. I know that learning is important to me, as is teaching and mentoring. And then getting people results. That's what I'm going to get paid for. Okay, so you can see coaching and speaking and podcasting and writing literally encompasses all of that stuff, right? I get to create, I get to have fun, I get to do all of those in what I'm doing, okay? So, we'll use Melissa's example because she was the one that I did the archetypes with. So we would have heard some of the negative language coming up. I didn't want to be a loser. I was whoever people wanted me to be. So without having Matrix A training yet, what I would say is, so Melissa, tell me what your goals are for March. What are the areas of your life that you're focusing on now?
Business.
Business? Okay. So now that you are focusing on your business and you know what your archetypes are, what we can do is we can actually use your archetypes to figure out what your ideal business looks like. The things that you need to be happening in your business for you to feel like you're successful, for you to feel happy and fulfilled. There is a really cool technique that we can use where we figure out those ideals, and then we can clear any emotional blocks between you and those ideals. Because here's the thing, if you didn't have emotional blocks, you would already have those things. So what we want to do is we want to unblock your path so that you can reach those ideals as quickly as possible. Now, it doesn't mean that as soon as we clear it, you're going to have those things instantly. What it means is that the pathway is cleared so you can get there a lot faster. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Yeah.
Cool, here's the price. Cool, so we could also say, is that something you'd be interested in? She says yes. Okay, cool, when would you like to get started? Right, she's already said yes. We can get started, and then here's the investment. We wouldn't say here's the price, here's the investment for that. Okay, so that's what I would do if I didn't have the Matrix A training. So by doing that, that's going to fill up some time, right, between now and the Matrix A training at the beginning of April. Then you can, as you go through that, you're going to hear things like, oh, well, so-and-so said this, or, you know, other things are going to come out about their childhood and whatnot because you are doing mini clearings. So now we know then that we can do some other people clearings for them to help them. So then after you do this, the ideals and clearings for them, or if you have the Matrix A, so you can use this in both circumstances, what you would say is, so have you heard of, Stacy, have you heard of the term emotional baggage?
Yes.
Cool. So in our minds, we basically have an emotional trash can, right? Or an emotional bag that we put all this stuff that we're suppressing into. Now, what happens is we only store unresolved negative emotions in the body. And because most of us have never learned how to deal with our emotions, that means most of the negative emotions we're feeling become imprinted on the body. So, let's say the first time you felt anger, Stacy, you were 2 years old, your mom took you to the store and wouldn't buy you the toy or the Barbie that you wanted, okay? So at 2 years old, you have imprinted anger in your body, which means you put a little bit in your emotional trash can. The 2-year-old doesn't have the ability to emotionally or mentally deal with that emotion, so it gets stored. And anytime you feel how that 2-year-old felt, you add a link in the chain. And we're just going to keep adding to that link until you decide to go back and deal with this moment.
Is it on the cells or?
It's at a cellular level. So every part of the body stores different emotions. Your liver stores anger, for example. Okay? Now the other thing is that part of your psyche, part of your mind, has become stuck at 2 years old. So now that you're an adult, part of your mind is still operating from a 2-year-old level. So the horizontal gestalts are all the same emotions. We have anger, we would have one for fear, we would have one for sadness, we would have one for guilt or shame, or any other negative emotion we may have experienced. Let's say the first time you felt fear, you were 3, sadness was at 5, and guilt at 8. Now part of your psyche is stuck at 2, 3, 5, and 8. And this has become even more full. In fact, this emotional trash can is likely full before you even turned 18. Have you ever heard the saying, when intelligence is high, or when emotions are high, intelligence is low?
Mm-hmm.
So when this bag is full, emotions are high, which means your emotional resilience and your emotional intelligence, your ability to be in a moment and choose your response, is low. And what happens at those times is that you revert back to whatever age you were when the emotion you're feeling was first created. So road rage is not an adult's response to sitting in traffic or to being cut off or somebody staying stopped at a red light or a stop sign too long. That's the 2-year-old throwing a temper tantrum for not getting their way.
Do you ever get pushback when you say that?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, and I've watched you, but I'm curious. I just didn't know if anybody ever was like, okay.
No, not one person. Now, we talked about the horizontal gestalts. We also have vertical gestalts here. These are all related to a specific person. So this might be mom. Doesn't mean your mom was a horrible person. It means she was human and had her own human stuff. Okay, this would be dad. Every time dad's made us angry, fearful, guilty, sad. This could be an ex-partner. This could be a sibling, a boss, a teacher, a friend. Anybody who's played a negative role in your life.
So that's then when we need to go back and clear them to be able to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just.
And I'll teach the theory behind this more in Matrix A, right? This is literally my sales pitch. I have the whiteboard behind me for a reason. Okay? So now you have this huge matrix of negative emotion that you're storing in the body. And at first, it doesn't feel too heavy. It's kind of like if I take my 1-liter water bottle, which is less than half full, if I hold it out here, it's not too heavy right now. If I sit here for 5 minutes, I'm going to really struggle. And sometimes I'll just sit here and talk and then be like, my arm's getting sore, right? Just to highlight the point. So within this spider web of emotions, your limiting beliefs, the I'm not good enough, I have to be perfect, no one will like me, get stuck. Or the if I try I'll fail, money is evil, that gets stuck in here. So a lot of people want to work on their limiting beliefs, but what they don't do, and why a lot of people don't experience success, is they're not taking down the structures that created the limiting beliefs. Because it's these people and these emotions that ultimately caused you to form these belief systems. So we can't get rid of one without getting rid of the cause. So we want to get to the root. So when I work with people, what we do first is we take out the columns. We take out the support beams that have held this structure up. We clear out the people. And in fact, we're going to start with the most toxic person for you so that you feel the most amount of freedom as quickly as possible. Once we take out the people, then we're going to take down the emotions, anger, fear, sadness, guilt, shame, as a standard. Any other emotions you felt, anxiety, grief, we can do those too, shyness. Then we'll take out these limiting beliefs, and that means this emotional bag is going to be emptied so you can choose the response that you want to get the outcome that you want in any situation. How does that sound? Yeah? So do you want to, if your mind was a garden, think of this as weeds. Are you ready to take out these weeds by the root so that you can experience more mental freedom going forward?
Spray it down, pull it out.
Cool. And then again, so the investment is, when would you like to get started?
How much do you charge for or like when you were starting out, how much did you charge for this?
When I first started, so when I first moved back to Canada, I was charging $1,400 for an 8-session package. Well, I gave the first session for free, the history was free, so I really sold it as a 7-session package plus 1 freebie, so it was $200 a session.
Okay.
I recommend not taking payment session by session. We've talked about this. For cash flow purposes, especially with summer coming, I would have them pay monthly as opposed to session by session if they're not able to pay in full.
And if you're just doing the passion and purpose, how much did you charge for passion and purpose?
I didn't start doing that until later.
Okay.
But what would you
Or
recommend?
what would you recommend us
So-
to start with?
If you're doing the archetypes as a freebie, I would say you could charge at least $100 a session. So just remember, just because you're charging $100 a session doesn't mean it's worth more. It's where you're comfortable selling, right? And so I charge what I charge now because I have hundreds of testimonials and people for social proof. So if somebody comes to me and they say, I'm interested, but I don't know, I can connect them with hundreds of people. I can send hundreds of screenshots or YouTube videos of testimonials, right? When I first started, I didn't have that. And so I was happy to start on the lower end. So it's okay to, and as I said on one of the calls this past week, I charge $4,000 for an 8-session package now. That being said, if my confidence is low or I haven't made a sale in a while or I need to stimulate cash flow, then I will look to say, look, normally it's $4,000. I really want to work with you. I'll typically start with $4,000, and if they're like, there's no way I can do it, I'll be like, look, I really want to work with you, so let's look at $3,500 or $3,000 or whatever.
So, would you recommend, at this point right now, meaning I have no other training other than what I'm getting this weekend, session 1 would always be a freebie or no?
For the first 3. So if you remember on
For the
Monday
first 3
night.
people, but then after.
Yeah, so here's what I did. Here's literally what I did. So I did the first sessions for free, and then I said the first person to sign up with me, it's $50 after that per session. Now, if I didn't have kids, I didn't have a mortgage, so I could do that. You have to decide if you can do that or not. Having those quick wins is going to build your confidence, right? And you're gonna get those testimonials. Then, from there, I went to $75. So the second person who signed up was $75. Then I went to $100, then $125, then $150. So these were all per person.
For the passion and purpose?
So again, I didn't do that, right? I just started off with clearings.
I'm just wondering what your recommendation was.
It would be the same thing because you're still doing clearings here, right? You're still clearing out some stuff for them. Then I went to $175 for one person, and then $200 a session. I think I stayed there for like 10 people because I had just moved back. So this was in Australia, and then this was my starting price when I first moved back. So it's okay to start at any of these spots, just knowing that you're not going to stay there. And once you have cash flow coming in and the confidence coming in, you're getting results, you can get testimonials and social proof, then you can bump up your prices. What I often see is that people will go, well, they'll look at what I'm charging now, forget that I'm 2 years ahead, right? And then say, well, I'm going to charge that, but then they don't have the confidence because they haven't done it enough times, right? I mean, even when I was charging this, I was still following my script word for word, so I had my books always with me. It wasn't until like halfway through when I was halfway through the first year of coaching, like full time, that I was able to leave the scripts at home.
And how long do session, I know each person is different, but generally speaking, how long would you go?
So for this, I would do an hour. For when we get to the matrix clearings, I book in 2 hours.
So an hour for the archetypes.
Yeah, so this I would do 1 hour. This I would do 1 hour. This I would do 1 hour. Okay. And doing this as well allows you to train your marketplace, where you're getting some cash flow in and you're getting the social proof, but you're also training people. Like, I started here, but as my time becomes more and more scarce, my value goes up and up.
Gotcha.
Okay? If I have a month where I'm like, I don't have a lot of one-on-one clients this month, then I may shift my prices to get people in, right?
Or
To have
do
that
what?
cash flow.
Cash flow.
Cash flow is king in a business. If you don't have cash flow, you don't have a business.
Or what do you call
Turns
it?
out.
The box, what box? The last 4 days in the month.
Oh, the cash machine?
Yeah, cash machine.
Yeah. So like I ran a cash machine and I didn't even send all 4 emails.
Can you go over that real quick again, just so it stays on this video, because I'm hard.
Yeah.
Real fast.
So with the cash machine, and it is in the training that the masterclass training I did, which is in my video.
Okay, I was on that when I was on myself already.
Yeah. So the 4-day cash machine, you can run at the end of any month. I mean, you could run it anytime. You don't have to wait until the end of the month. If you go to, I'll find the exact website for you, but there is like a national day of something every frickin' day, or at least one a week, right? Hey, it's National Cookie Day, so I want to respond with, right? March is like Women's History Month, I'm pretty sure. International Women's Day is coming up on March 8th. It should be somewhere around there. So you could do a cash machine for International Women's Day,
Okay.
right? Where you put out an offer to women, okay? You could do one in line with full moons, one in line with new moons. You're gonna get those, one of each a month minimum, right? So you don't have to wait until the end of the month.
Yeah.
You can just figure something out, right? So 4-day cash machine, you're just going to offer a substantial offer or a substantial discount, right? So what I did for this last month, I'm relaunching the Limitless League this week. So I said, get a 30-day. No.
No.
Get a 30-day trial of the Limitless League, which is a normal thing that I give anyways. And when you stay on for month 2, you get the NLP for free. NLP is, for me, is what I call a lost leader. I know that once people are sitting in front of me, I will upsell. My chances of upselling are significantly higher, right? And I've just spent 3 days of training you on mindset and like blown your mind about how much, you know, your mind matters. And throughout that weekend, you'll see when you come to NLP, I'm constantly seeding the other programs. When you do NLP Mastercraft, this is what we do. When you do Matrix Therapies, this is what we cover, right? So I'm planting those seeds, and then I'll make an offer on the second day. Not that that matters to any of you, because you're already all in it, okay? So the 4-day cash machine, that's what I ran this time. What that guarantees is that people are going to stay on for month 2, which means they're paying $97 a month, okay? If they want that offer. I just sent I've extended this for 12 more hours email. I've had 2 or 3 people take me up on the 30-day promo, and then we'll see from there, right? You could do like a 7-day training series for $7. It's about getting cash flow and getting people to start paying you so that you have an upsell somewhere. Okay? So you just send out like day 1, you send out one email. Day 2, this is usually in the PM.
Oh,
Day 2, you send out one email. This is typically in the morning. Day 3, you send a time's running out email. Oops. Usually in the AM. And then day 4, you send a last call in the AM. And then you send like a time's about to expire or something like that. In, I'd say around 8 to 9 p.m. And you tell them that at midnight on whatever day, it disappears.
After, how often do you email not doing this?
My aim is 2 a week.
2 a week?
So usually Tuesday and Friday.
Okay.
I'll send.
what was the question, sorry?
So how many nurturing emails do I send out a week? My aim right now is 2 a week. So I send out one on Tuesday with a video and with links to my previous week's podcast episodes and any podcasts I've been interviewed on. And then Friday I send out like a Friday recap, a weekly recap, and I send out my podcast links and another video. Cool? So, that's the sales process in a nutshell. Any questions?
I would just say any templates or what to say in the email on each.
So it's gonna depend on what you're putting out.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are on my email list, so you should get them.
Okay.
But they'll change depending on
Right.
what it is I'm sending
I
out.
mean, I just wanted to make sure, like, if we.
So tomorrow at 11 a.m., I am interviewing Adil Amarsi in the Success Secrets group. He is like one of the world's best copywriters.
Oh.
Highly recommend you check that one out. I mean,
So
it'll
noon
stay
tomorrow?
live
Tomorrow,
11 a.m.
11?
Yeah,
I'm there.
His name is Marcy.
Adil Amarsi. So he's from the UK, but he is brilliant.
Okay,
So I'm going to
Cool.
interview him in the group tomorrow. So, it's all the word I use. So like for this month, I was like, you know, we're into March already. We're into month 3 of 2020. Are you on track to hit your goals? Can you imagine how much faster you would reach your goals if you had me in your ear every week, making sure that you're on things? That's what you get in the Limitless League. You get a weekly group coaching call with me, blah, 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 blah. And you can try it out for 30 days before you even make a commitment so that I can show you how much impact I can have on your life, right? If I was, what have I done in the past? I've done this $47 for the archetypes. And I talked about, I can't remember exactly, but are you feeling lost? Are you feeling stuck? A lot of people walk around, get caught on this hamster wheel, jumping at shiny objects because they don't know what their true purpose is. Let me help you figure it out. Normally this is $550 to do with me. That's what it's valued at. And I'm gonna give it to you for 92% off, today only or whatever, for $47. When I did this,
Okay, so you're saying that 500 something is for session 1, or is that
Yeah,
for all of
no.
it? Okay.
Yeah, how
That's
do you
what-
figure out what the value of something is?
so it's, what are they going to get out of it? Like knowing this, what are they going to be able to do in their life? Plus, like, what are you currently, what are your package prices at currently? Right?
Because I mean, like honestly, this could be worth $5,000.
This whole thing.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
worth $5,000. But am I going to be comfortable saying $5,000? I'm like,
It's $5,000.
I mean,
you know,
No,
I did
Yeah.
this. I did this
Yeah.
for 47. You could say that your sessions are normally $200 a session, and you're doing it for people for $17 or $27. You're still $47. Doesn't matter that you're not doing 92% off. You're still offering a huge
Oh,
discount.
so
So
the
the
value
mine-
is what you normally charge.
And what they'll get out of it. So it's a combo. Okay. So, the point is that you're generally offering something that is less than $100 because most people generally don't think twice about spending something less than $100. Right? Now, if you're looking for quick cash flow, I sold like 16 $47 offers. It was like $700, right? And I think we needed to pay for plane tickets somewhere while we were waiting for money from something else to drop. So you can stimulate some income quickly, right? We'll usually put whatever we make off of this back into our ads that we're running, but not always. So just think about what you can offer it for, right? Thanksgiving last year, Black Friday, I did the NLP for $197,
Yeah,
right? And I had a whole bunch of people who were sitting on the fence for a while hop on that. Now I know that's, $900 cheaper or $800 cheaper than what I would normally sell it for. At the same time, once you're here, then I'm gonna upsell you to a $10,000 program. So I'm gonna be able to recover that money.
So you did that NLP one, and it was for one of the sessions here. It wasn't like you were on video.
It was for the 3-day live.
For the okay.
And that's when I bought
Is
it.
that the one that you were here?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I paid.
So just so you know, Karen Up was one of the people
right.
I upsold.
And I think there was like
So
a couple
Anita,
others.
before I got here.
yeah, and so Anita, who I also upsold, Anita and Salpy's put hers on hold for a moment, but she'll be coming back to it. They both actually bought NLP for $997 at Marshall's and still purchased the $10,000 program.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for me, with a course like NLP, I can have flash sales like that are really quick to get people in the room. That's also why when people sign up for the Better Leads box, if you stay on past the 30-day free trial, or you sign up for private coaching with Sid or to our 6-figure program through that without being in our mentorship, you automatically get NLP with it. Because I know that once I get you here, I'm gonna be able to upsell you into something else.
Gotcha.
Cool?
Yep.
And so for you guys, the easiest way, regardless of how lacking in confidence you are with sales, if you get somebody on the phone and you make a shift for them in that first hour, they're going to see value in continuing to work with you, right? So literally, like I used to say, I hate selling, so uncomfortable, I hate asking for money. That's why I lead with value. That's why I do as many live videos as I do. Because I've led with value, I know that I have given you a ton, even if we've only had a 30-minute phone call, that you're going to want to work with me. And then I have zero problem saying, okay, well, you just saw what I could do in 15 minutes. Imagine what I can do in 8 sessions. Okay. Any other questions about selling from this into something with you?
No, I guess one thing that comes up is just how do you schedule all these different types of promotions and things you're doing when you've got.
Just do one at a time.
No kidding, because if we look at your schedule, I'm just like, ah! That's so much, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah. So you guys don't have the same offerings or level of offerings that I have, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so
I'm just, you've got
literally,
so many going at one time.
So
in
for you
different
and
groups
Melissa,
and all that.
choose a limiting belief or choose the archetypes coaching.
Okay.
Find a day this month that you can put out an offer, a flash sale for 24 hours or 48 or whatever,
Okay.
and get people on the phone with you.
Okay.
And
Right? For everybody else who doesn't have Matrix A yet, schedule people in for the archetypes, right? $47, $27, I don't care. The point is, if they pay you once, they're going to be more willing to pull out their credit card and pay you again.
So, okay, let me make sure I'm clear, and since I'll have it on video. Archetypes. So that's us. We're going through doing what we did to find when I got here Saturday,
Yeah.
magician, all of that. Then we're gonna go and find the one that you're gonna get paid for.
Yeah, so you ask the vacation
The-
questions,
Right,
and then tell me a story about a project that went really well.
and then that's flow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then literally, just so you know, I send them a report on it, and all I've done is I've retyped these and the words, these words. I'll show you a report. I made like a master report where I just retyped all of it. And then when I do your report, I just delete the stuff that doesn't matter. Or that doesn't
That's
apply to you.
awesome. Okay. I didn't know if we were allowed to do something like to.
Yeah, I can actually put
Copy
my
that.
master report in the thing.
And this is a report for the client?
Yeah.
To give you a-
to have the innocent adventure and breaking down their.
Because that's very important for
Yeah.
them to go back, like even me, like.
So like you
looking-
give them your archetypes, but now they have a report so they can go
Yeah.
back and see.
See, and that's one of the things that I'm doing in my, my group coaching, which my ruler showed up to be able to say that, was that when they're going through these clearings, to have them journal, and they have to they have this worksheet that they have to answer all the questions of all the lessons that they've learned, and then they have that from all of their different 6 sessions, and then they can actually look with their eyes. Plus, it covers all the different ways that people learn, because they'll be writing for the kinesthetic, they'll be looking at, they have something to actually look at, and they already heard me saying it,
Right.
so it covers a lot of the different ways that people learn, and then they can actually look and see their own patterns of what they've done and what they've learned.
And the emails you send out come from a funnel where you've gotten their names?
So I have an email list of 4,000.
And so when you do something this, you're gonna do a flash sell, that's going to be a broadcast, like that'll be a new thing, is that how you?
Yeah, it would be a new campaign.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll put this in the group for you guys. You'll only be able to open it if you have a Mac. I'll have to see if I can convert it to Word.
Can you screenshot, see if does that thing have screenshot?
Yeah, I'll see if I can convert it to Word, because
Okay.
just the formatting may be screwed up, so you guys can
Okay.
fix the formatting.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So I just have Find Your Purpose report. And by the way, I had some people who had already paid me for an 8-session coaching package sign up for this. I'll put this in the group.
Oh,
Okay. So Find Your Purpose coaching session, how to use this report, and then I've just copied out everything, all the definitions that are in your book. The only thing I've added is your words. So I give them a list of the words that they said back that relate to that archetype. Here's other words that the archetype uses, and then I've just copied what's in here, the definitions at the back of the book. So then all I do is, if you're not a magician, then I just delete the magician page. What I do in here as well is on the second page, I show, so it says you're in shadow when, rebalance your magician by, and I give you some examples of activities you can do to come out of the shadow. Okay, or to like really hone in on your archetype. Then at the end, I have your flow. Okay, so again, I just have to delete the ones that don't apply and then reorder them. And then I've said your challenge archetypes. Again, delete the ones that don't apply and then just leave it. Cool? So it's super people. So then you're sending somebody value, because going through it, they're going to be like, holy crap,
yeah,
this is
so
so
much.
me.
yeah.
Right? Like you're reading out the definitions to people and they're like, how did you know? Like, I'm mind blown right now. And then you send them the report so it's not information overload.
Yeah.
Okay?
So
So
it's
that they can just
re-embedding
sit there
it.
and receive.
That's so
Yeah.
great.
And it gives you a reason to follow them up.
Yeah.
So I'll send them the report a day later, and then a day after that, I'll say, if they haven't already converted into a sale, hey, I just wanted to make sure that you got your thing. When I do the limiting belief clearings as a trial session for people, I follow them up the next day. Hey, just want to check in, see how you're feeling. That shows my level of customer service, and it's an added touch point, an added point for me to follow them up. And then I can reach out again and say, hey, did you get that email, if they haven't already converted.
Okay, so then after I do that, and then after session 1, I can't go on to help them do anything else till I do the matrix?
No, you can
Or-
schedule them in for this.
Schedule them in for that clearing,
Yeah.
like I did with Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
you can give them, and you're gonna learn this in a minute. So you could sell them a 2-session archetype package. You could sell them
Oh,
You know.
Okay.
a session for each of those. You could sell them an 8-session package, knowing that you're going to have Matrix A in 3 weeks, and then start with this stuff,
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
And
feel
then
like.
go
Like is
into
my like
the
best-
people clearing. Right? And so Stacy, same thing for you. Karen, same thing for you. You can just sell them into the 8-session package because you're only 4 weeks away from having that ability. And then after you do that one, you're like 4 weeks away from having the Matrix B. And then you wait
Yeah,
until
'cause you can spread it out
August
and
for
do
the
it.
master prac, but I can tell you Matrix A and Matrix B make up the bulk of my coaching packages.
What is the difference in your year 2 in what we are going to learn between NLP Matrix A and Matrix B?
So NLP is, I use it more for tidy up stuff. So tidy up after we clear everything out, but it's an easier place for people to start, right? It's less, firstly, it's what more people have heard of. Most people haven't even heard of Matrix because it was created in Australia, right? So NLP gets me in the door with people, and then I can upsell them to Matrix therapies. Same thing for you. I wouldn't even talk about being an NLP coach. I don't even talk about clearing people, right? I talk about getting rid of self-sabotage, getting rid of emotional baggage, reprogramming the mind for success. Those are the words that I use because that's what people understand.
And then once we've learned that master class on the flow of self-sabotage, we can
You could add that in
add
too.
that in later.
Yeah.
Well, what about the A and the B, and
That's-
what tools are we gonna get?
So A, you're going to learn how to clear people. We spend the whole weekend clearing people. So Friday, you're going to learn how to take a detailed history of somebody and start figuring, like putting together the puzzle pieces of, oh, you're a people pleaser because this happened, or you do this because of this. Saturday, I'm going to demonstrate how to do a clearing. You're gonna partner up, spend the rest of the day doing a people clearing on each other. Sunday, you're gonna do a people clearing on each other, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So like the whole weekend is clearings. Matrix B, you learn how to clear anger, fear, sadness, and guilt, limiting beliefs, grief, anxiety, shyness. We do dream analysis. So it's mostly clearings again that weekend.
So the feelings. Okay.
Feelings, limiting beliefs, and other things. Yeah.
Smart goals.
When are you still planning on introducing tapping and stuff like that?
Yeah, so that's going to be a totally different program. So you
Okay.
guys will get access to that program for a reduced rate. What's likely going to happen is next year I'll be dropping this out and implementing the new program, which I'm looking at calling something like Quantum Living or something like that. I haven't decided yet, something about quantum. And that will likely bump the price from the mentorship from the 10,000 that it is now to at least 15. Because it's looking like that's going to create an additional 8-session package that you can upsell people into. And that'll be
I'm
for
so
more
sorry.
stuck stuff.
That's awesome.
Have you ever had to, and because I know you kind of pivot depending on, like with me, you'll do a parts integration. It may go, we don't know where it's going to go, depending on what is the most useful tool. Do you ever find yourself using a swish pattern or any of the other things in
Sometimes.
this area?
So I've had a couple clients who haven't felt a result from the matrix therapies. They're more analytical, whatever it is, they're not as in touch emotionally. So then I'll pivot to like the submodalities. And then I do have some clients, just so you guys know, once people finish their 8-session package with me, I do have some people who will hire me as a high performance coach. And so they'll pay $250 a month to get additional sessions, and they get 1 session a month. They want 2 sessions
Just
a
to
month,
have,
it's $500.
like have you on
Okay.
hand for whatever they're
Yeah,
going
and
through.
they'll just be
I like that.
They'll just be like, I need a session this week.
We
We'll
can
book them
add
in.
that into the support. that we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, so then it's $250 per session a month. So some people will do 2, Some people will do one.
Mhm.
If one month they need two, and then generally they need one, that's fine. And then I can use any of the techniques, any of the master prac, any of the prac, any of these techniques, anything I've learned from anywhere else. Sometimes they just need to vent and I don't even say anything, and then they feel better, and we're all good.
On day one of this program, you recorded that. Was that because you're putting it in the mentorship? And for us to be able to see
No, I
it?
recorded it because Vanessa wasn't here.
Oh.
I'm going to, it's not a great sound quality when I record it that way, so
Oh.
that's why I'm redoing NLP, but I'm going to record an overview of the archetypes this week for you guys and put that in there.
Okay, cool.
And give you the audio so that you can at least
That's what I
listen
just
to
want to
it.
be. I just want to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
Just
so
the
then
more
I
you're
can
around
listen
the
to it
words of
again.
I just know it so well. You know?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
cool. Any other questions about making sales? Getting clients?
So, I know Sid thinks everybody likes you better.
That's his shit.
Right. Right.
Because I feel the same way.
No.
Pe-
I do.
So
My-
people, I'm actually the one who's more likely to trigger people because I'm more direct than Sid is,
Right.
which is funny because a lot of people think that I'm soft, but I'm only soft if I have to be.
Right.
Generally, I'm going to give you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. It's just how I frame it up for you.
Right. Okay, so in your unbiased opinion, if somebody wanted to hire one of the two of you for learning how to sell in general,
He's a better salesperson.
okay,
Yeah. I can sell what I know
Right.
really well.
But
Right?
he-
He can sell
Anything.
anything to anyone. And I think he's looking at potentially, so he's shifted from being just ad agency to more coaching with the ad agency.
Right.
And he's looking at potentially putting together like a sales mentorship because he's checked some of them out and he's like, these are really basic. So that's something he's looking at doing. Yeah.
that's what I thought your answer was going to be. I was
Yeah,
just
he's
checking.
he's a far better salesperson than I am. He thinks that because
I
of
know.
the drama he's
Yeah, no.